Hey, beautifuls. Welcome back to the Momentum to Millions podcast. And today we're going to talk about claiming your financial sovereignty, the power of a new money identity. I love talking about money. Why? Because I am a stand for feminine freedom as it gets opened up through the doors of money, wealth, and prosperity, that we come into right relationship with it. Why am I talking about this today? It's about meeting the moment. It's about meeting our times. It's about watching massive systems crumbling and lineage shifts happening, about to lead a retreat on reclaiming the lineage of the prosperous feminine. And that's what we're here to do today. I want to give you a little piece of this because what we're seeing in the world is an emerging feminine economy. You heard it here first. Okay. And we're going to talk about how we've got to move out of the idea around old money stories and instead shift into a new powerful money identity. And we're also going to talk about the natural world, especially big cat medicine, which you know is my favorite, and how they've taught me incredible wisdom on how to embody our financial sovereignty. And so I want to set some context for this, right? Because we've inherited a lot of beliefs around money, and many of those aren't even ours. They're not even our fault. They've been passed down through generations, right? Beliefs about money being scarce, that it's wrong to want or have more, or having money compromises our spirituality, our integrity. I would even assert it to say that a lot of us are holding stories where money feels like the kryptonite to the feminine. You heard it here first, right? And the thing is, scarcity isn't something we were born with, it was imposed upon us. That there are these limiting beliefs in the fabric, woven into the fabric of our society, but they don't have to define us. I think a lot of it was a strategy to put things behind a shroud, to make us be off kilter and wonder about our value, so that things like asking for money, running a business, setting a price, offering a program, standing up and speaking up for ourselves was not smiled upon. It was frowned upon. And so anything around us having money, right, is also frowned upon. But the other thing that I want you to know is that we've also come to a time where women now have a soul actualization need to have a place in society, to be making money, and to be owning their value and feel what it feels like viscerally in their hands to actively bring money into a bank account based solely on them and their wisdom, their beauty, their grace, and their skills and their talents, right? And so the key takeaway here is that we have to stop blaming ourselves and start seeing those old stories for what they are: external limitations, not reflections of our true worth. Okay, take a breath with me. So, what does it mean to go from money story to money identity? I'm glad you asked. Because this is just bigger than a money story, which there's a lot of people out there in the world talking about money stories. And yes, it's real. Yes, they impact us. And yes, they limit us. But it's about the fact that that money story gets so embedded. We even forget sometimes the details of the story, but they become an identity. They become the way we relate to money, wealth, and prosperity. They become the lens through which we see it. They become this sort of container of belief that continually has us be triggered about money and avoid it. It has us become avoidant, right? Raise your hand if this sounds like you. But a money story can change. And we change our money story, but we don't change our money identity. And that money identity is what shapes everything: how we see ourselves, how we show up, and how we earn and how we generate income. And for many of us, living out our identities shaped by scarcity, fear, and worthiness issues. But in reality, We have the power to rewrite that identity, to transform that identity, and to step into the feminine economy that is inviting us forward to be a vital part of that economy. As I've told you before, Forbes wrote that women over 50, women in their prime, we're going to include our 45-year-olds, right, are one of the largest, fastest growing segments of the vital part of our economy. That's you and me, sister. Okay. And so imagine if you saw yourself as the sovereign creator of your financial future, because I'm telling you right here and now, you have that capacity, you have that gift, and you have that birthright. I've lived it. I've lived it in many iterations, and I continue to live it. And it's because I listen to myself within and follow my own sovereignty versus listening to other ideas that people give me about what I am supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. Now, I will grant you, I'm a little more ballsy than most people, but I grew up with three older brothers. And so the S rolled downhill, if you know what I mean. I had to be a little scrappy. But, what I've learned as a feminine woman is that about being fully in our power and generating wealth through our gifts is ours to do. And so getting in right relationship with money, wealth, and prosperity is the block to that happening. Not on my watch anymore, right? And so if you saw yourself as a sovereign creator, your financial future, what's possible? What could change, right? What happens is it's a shift from a passive story to an active embodied money identity, which is a way we be, a way we see, a way we are. We stand taller. We're less afraid because, my friends, this is a journey of sovereignty. And we are at a time in this world like we never have been before, where sovereignty is going to be the way through, right? Following governments, following people, following influencers, following gurus, not following them to the T where we drink their Kool-Aid, but taking the pieces that affect us, impact us, and help us really stand in our own power are going to be key to what happens going forward, because we are at the quickening has happened. The turning has come. Here we are, right? So I want to talk to you about big cat medicine, because this is how we claim our financial sovereignty, which is made up of money, wealth, prosperity, income, rates, fees, ways that we get paid, ways that we earn, right? And like a big cat, you have the right to claim that territory. You have a right to feminine freedom. You have a right to feminine financial freedom. And I'm here to activate that. So picture a leopard in the wild, graceful, beautiful, powerful, those aquamarine green eyes piercing you, right? The ripples in her skin as she walks, the goldenness bouncing off of her as the sun warms her skin, knowing exactly where her boundaries are, that her currency is food, that she is her sole provider. She owns her space. She knows exactly who she is, unapologetically. She owns her power in relationship to her currency. Big cats do not apologize for their presence. I'm going to say that again. Big cats do not apologize for their presence. They take what they need to thrive because they know it's their right. They don't operate from scarcity. They operate from instinctive abundance. You have that wild, instinctive, abundant nature within you. It's a matter of listening to it. And so you too can step into that energy of the prowess of a leopard. She doesn't wander through a habitat asking herself, do I deserve to eat today? Never. It doesn't cross her mind, because she's fully realized soul. Let her be a mentor to you in accessing that instinctive abundance that lives within you, because you can claim your financial space. It's your right. It's already been granted to you. Stop playing small and take up the room you deserve in this economy, because you're not taking anything from someone. You're becoming much more highly contributory. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. So what's at stake if we don't shift this? We continue to perpetuate a destructive economy instead of a generative one, where we revere nature, and an economy that's built on scarcity, consumption, and inequality, which is where we currently are, where women in particular are undervalued and underpaid. But there's a different path. We shift this because there's an opportunity of a feminine economy emerging, one where sufficiency places scarcity, where nature is protected, and where we all thrive. This is the economy we are designed to build. But we have to get into right relationship with money, wealth, and prosperity for that to be so. So we can sway votes, so that we can influence outcomes and laws, so that we can open things up to the suppressed, to the global majority, to the people that haven't been heard or been given the same opportunities. Here's the thing. Your role isn't just personal, it's collective. As women, we have the power to change the game and build an economy that serves everyone. But it starts with us shifting our identity around money so there's no need for a story. We have an experiential, positive relationship with money, wealth, and prosperity. How about that for a change? How about that for us to be different? So what's possible is the power of ethical wealth, women leading the way, women like you in their prime, ethical entrepreneurs, coaches, and change makers are the ones who will shape this new economy that Forbes has already acknowledged. Because when we talk about wealth, we're not just talking about more money for the sake of it. We're talking about money that is used ethically and powerfully to create impact. Think of Mother Teresa. Her mission needed funding, and so does yours. She didn't shy away from asking for it. She didn't let money get in the way of the fulfillment of her mission. Think about Tina Turner, who took her power back as a woman alone from a highly abusive marriage where he had taken everything she had earned. And she said no to him in a courtroom when he said, "I want your name." And she said, "The one thing you can't have is my name." And she left that courtroom with her name and 5 cents in her bank account. And she went on to generate incredible success and wealth to the tune of around 250 million before she walked on. When we think about feminine economy and ethical wealth, Taylor Swift is an economy. She gives her truck drivers money. She contributes back to the communities. Beyonce is a feminine economy. And so what I want to leave you with is it's not about the money in and of itself, although we want you to be in prosperity in your personal life, but it's about what's beyond that too, which is what you can do with it when you have a lot of it. And as an ethical woman, you are exactly the kind of leader this world needs now. We are not playing games anymore with the term of being global, being leaders, being change makers, being disruptors, because the time has already been disrupted. People do not know what to do in the current world we are in because there's no more societal rules guiding their narrative and what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. And so that's where you come in and meet a need that is out in the world as a woman who's had her sovereignty catalyzed within her so that you can hold people in whatever your niche is, in whatever way that you serve, in them being fully realized soul at a time when they need their sovereignty catalyzed in the way that you do. So I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to talk and whisper in your ear. It's time to stop playing small and start claiming your financial sovereignty and your place in the feminine economy. And so ask yourself, what limiting beliefs am I ready to shed? And what would I claim in its place? And that you can get to a beautiful mantra. I want to hear from you. Post below, subscribe, send this to other women. Let's create a firestorm with this, right? So I want you to spend the next week reflecting, if it's just this one journal prompt, because it'll make a big difference, on how you can step into your new money identity, just like a leopard or a lion or a cheetah or a bobcat or a jaguar or a tiger or a puma. Staking your financial ground, what's the first bold move you'll make, right? And if you really want to commit and open this up, go to juliesteelman.com and there's a link below and book a conversation with me and let's figure it out. And I want to thank you for joining, for listening, for being here, and really about you stepping into your financial sovereignty. Until next time, stay fiercely feminine. I'm Julie Steelman.